I'm calling the meeting to order. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Trey, would you do the roll call?
Okay. Tom Basile,
Here?
Mabel Malley, here. Kevin McAteer,
Here.
Tony Cluxon,
Here.
Vince Stahl,
Here.
Kathleen Walk, here. Michael Corrigan,
Here.
Frank Cavalieri,
Here.
Al Astorica,
Here.
Mr. Catelli.
Here. Okay, now tonight is a special meeting because we have to reseat the offices of the Board of Directors. And you should each have a kind of lime green paper in front of you, which would show the order of things to happen. So, well, I will throw the floor open for nominations for president.
I would like to nominate Tom Basile.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I guess that was unanimous. The floor was open for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Tony Cluxon.
I'll second
All in favor?
it. Aye.
Passed unanimously. The floor is open for nominations of treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Vince Stahl.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And the floor is open for nominations for secretary.
I propose Kathleen Walker.
And I'll second it.
Maeve and Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So that means the new board officers are Tom Basile, myself, president, Tony Cluxon, vice president, Vince Stahl, treasurer, Kathleen Walk, secretary. Thank you all. It's going to be a pleasure continuing to serve with you. All right, with that being taken care of, we'll do the financial report. And that means, Vince, would you give us the financial report?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. This is the financial report for the month of September, which concludes our 9 months of the 12-month cycle. At the end of the month, we have in our account balances at the Provident Bank and the operating account a sum of $257,553.04. In the Provident Reserve account, we have $50,008.64. When we combine this amount with the certificates of deposit that are listed on page 3, which has a current value of $144,331.54, when combined with the reserve account cash, we have a total of $298,163.63. If you turn to page 6, you'll note that the income and expense report for September shows that we currently have a negative balance for the month of September in the amount of $2,338 and a positive variance year-to-date in the amount of $105,655. Golf income had positive results for the month in golf cart rental and golf green fees, and we are also above our predicted numbers year-to-date for those 2 line items. Condo sales fees also have exceeded our budget both monthly and year-to-date. On the expense side, we did have a line item that exceeded budget, and that was the tree budget, and that was over budget for the month by $6,474, and year-to-date by $10,587. And that was a result of previous storms and the work that was done last month, and the bills came in last month. We've made the monthly reserve contribution in the amount of $12,500. That was made this month in September. And we're working on the 2021 FM operating budget. We continue to work on the budget, and we wait for some key figures to come in. Those key numbers would be our new insurance price for 2020 and 2021, and the employee health care rates. We will receive these numbers shortly and be able to put the finishing touches on the budget later this month. Once the budget is completed, a presentation will be made to our local association presidents or their representatives. At this time, the presentation on the budget will be explained by line item and for both income and expenses. We have held these presentations, by the way, over the past 5 years, and so we continue that tradition as we go forward. As we finish the 3 quarters for this year, we find ourselves in pretty good financial shape, and will allow us to take on some additional unbudgeted expenses this year, which we'll discuss later on in the meeting. Now that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Vince. Motion to accept the financial report.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Vince, would you also do the approval of bills and claims?
I have reviewed all the bills and claims for the month of September, and I find them in accordance with our budget and with our operating procedures, and I recommend that we approve them.
Thank you. Motion to accept the bills and claims.
I'll make a motion.
Second, anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Vince. Kathleen, approval of the minutes.
Okay, I have reviewed the minutes and recommend approval.
Thank you. Motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor? Thank you. That brings us to you, Trey, the manager's report.
The evenings are becoming crisp, signs of early morning frost are here, the mums are completely in bloom, and the leaves are falling. Autumn is definitely here at Fairway Mews. This is such a great time of year where the weather is still decent and the summer crowds are nowhere to be found. Take full advantage of your surroundings because in a few weeks it will be a completely different landscape outside. We are now underway with all of our fall maintenance activities. For the golf course, that means aerifying, top dressing, verticutting, and overseeding to make the course perfect come spring 2021. For live oak landscaping, that means leaf cleanup. Live oak will now make an appearance bi-weekly and will focus on leaf cleanup throughout the community. This cleanup process will continue into December. The Fairway Mews Community Association annual meeting took place on Tuesday, October 6, 2020. At that meeting, 3 seats were filled for the Fairway Mews Community Association Board of Directors by Tony Cluxon, Kevin McAteer, and Michael Corrigan. These are for 3-year terms, and I very much look forward to working with each of you. Did you get a chance to view our last Fairway Mews Community Association Board of Directors meeting? A link was sent to all residents to view the meeting on our YouTube channel. With the pandemic being a factor still, this will be the way we conduct our monthly meetings moving forward. Look for the next meeting link that will be sent out shortly after the meeting's completion. We will still conduct the open session portion of the meeting. If you have a question for the FM Board of Directors, send an email containing your name, address, and the question at hand to musenews1@aol.com. All questions must be received the Friday before the Tuesday meeting. The Fairway Mews main office remains closed to all visitor traffic until a time to be determined. The FM main office will handle all business through email at musenews1@aol.com or phone 732-449-8565. Contact us through either resource and we will get you whatever you may need. Please make sure you are using the correct email address when using email contact. The FM Clubhouse will also remain closed until a time to be determined due to the COVID-19 liabilities. The FM Golf Shop will remain open under non-essential business requirements from the state of New Jersey. A mask is required to enter the FM Golf Shop, and the following also has been put in place. Only 4 customers in FM Golf Shop at one time, a sanitizing station at the FM Golf Shop entrance, proper social distancing markers, and a sneeze guard at the counter, and deep cleaning of high-touch areas daily. The inventory at the Fairway Mews Golf Shop is nothing short of amazing right now, as Dan O'Malley has stocked everything for the fall and winter season. Get in there and support your golf professional. A reminder that all units must submit proof receipt of service to the FM main office that their dry vent has been cleaned by a licensed New Jersey contractor by March 1st, 2021. As the weather gets colder, it is important to turn off your water to outsized hose bibs to prevent freezing, bursting water pipes. If you will not be at your unit for a prolonged period of time, it is good practice to shut the water off to your entire unit to avoid a freezing or bursting pipe. I have seen the damage that occurs when a pipe bursts and the water is released into a unit until the damage is noticed from the outside. A lot of time, money, and agony can all be avoided if the water is shut off during these cold winter months when and if your unit is vacant. Thank you.
Trey, would you just go back a couple of paragraphs to global gutter cleaning?
Yes. I didn't mention that because Maeve has that in her report.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank
so,
you.
right, you do, I think? Yeah.
All
So,
right, motion to accept Trey's report. Second, all in favor? Thank you. Now we move on to committee reports. Mike, Human Resources.
Well, the good news is we haven't lost anybody this month. The bad news is we haven't hired anybody this month. Been working on the budget for next year. We're facing some real compression here because we've got five employees, 2 full-time and 3 seasonal, who are now going to be up to $12 an hour. We have 5 employees who are now regular employees who are at $12 an hour. So it's, this is an issue we're going to have for the next 4 years. Beyond that, we have the numbers on the health plan, and putting those together with the rest of this. And we have two employees who have asked to join the retirement plan, another expense, and one who is also wishes to join the health plan. So a lot of moving parts and none of them working in the right direction. And that's where I am right now.
Okay, Mike, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, we'll tie a lot of those loose ends together during the budget cycle, I'm sure. Motion to accept Mike's Human Resources report.
Make a motion.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Maeve, the grounds report.
Live Oak Landscaping is now here every other week as per their contract. And you probably have noticed that the mums have been planted for the fall season in bright yellow and cherry crimson. Live Oak will now maintain focus on leaf cleanup throughout the community. And global gutter cleaning for participating associations will take place on November the 19th, starting on November the 19th. Live Oak Landscaping has completed the community-wide trimming of green non-flowering shrubs up to 3-inch caliper and up to 12 feet high. Fairway Mews Landscaping did get the opportunity to plant 6 trees in the community, consisting of dogwood, crepe myrtle and pusa dogwood. We hope to extend this program to 12 trees in 2021. Fairway Mews Landscaping has also installed a hedgerow of Ilex compacta, which is a version of the boxwood hedge, and did various landscaping projects around the clubhouse. That's the grounds report for October.
Thank you, Maeve. Motion to accept the grounds report.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Maeve, would you do tennis?
Tennis is very short this month. The courts continue to be used actually on a daily basis, and plans are on the way to keep tennis in the forefront for 2021 and going forward. That's the tennis report for October.
Thank you. Motion to accept the tennis report.
Make a motion.
Second. Tony, golf?
Okay, the golf season continues to wind down, and Joe and his crew continue to do fall maintenance. Over the last few weeks, we've done our yearly rides, one with Maeve O'Malley, so that I could get the view of what the ladies want done in 2021. And then last week, Trey, myself, Dan O'Malley, and Joe Bodine traveled the golf course to determine needs. As in the past, in January, I'll give a little rundown on what we plan to do and how we plan to improve the course for the golf season of 2021. And that's my report on golf.
Thank you. Motion to accept the golf report.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Tony, might as well do architecture.
Okay.
Got a big list here.
Yeah, we always have a big list. Keeps Trey and I busy one Friday a month. Please note that proof of insurance for contractors and proof of homeowners insurance for owners doing work are attached to all requests for modification unless otherwise noted. Okay. Grez, 24 Pine, wants to install a new concrete patio the same size as the old and replace wood borders around the flower beds with brick. Pictures are attached, they're appropriate, I recommend approval. A note attached, appropriate utility markouts must be obtained prior to any digging. Donovan, 134 Walnut, wants to install a new patio with pavers, 16 feet deep and 17 feet long, and 2 vinyl with lattice privacy fences, 8 foot by 6 foot. The patio is similar to others in the vicinity, and both neighbors have approved of the privacy fence, so I recommend approval. Note attached, appropriate utility markouts must be obtained prior to any digging. DiChirico, 31 Maple, wants to install gutter guards on the gutter. I'm gonna recommend approval. Note attached, the local board will no longer maintain gutters if guards are installed, and also the owner will be responsible for any repair if any damage is caused by the guards. Johnson, 24 Cherry, wants to replace an old hedge in front of the unit with boxwoods. A diagram and where the shrubs are going to be placed is attached. I recommend approval. Note attached, appropriate utility markouts must be obtained prior to any digging. Uber, 110 Maple, wants to install a dryer vent on the side of the unit. It's very similar to several others in the neighborhood. Pictures attached. I recommend approval. Caulfield, 24 Magnolia, wants to install a new door and windows on the patio on either side of the chimney. Pictures are attached. Recommend approval. Note, the door must be white and the windows must be white and match existing as closely as possible. Excuse me one second. I'll make a little note on this. Okay, O'Neill, 34 Walnut, wants to install new windows and a patio slider. Pictures are attached. They're appropriate to the neighborhood. Recommend approval. Note attached, the door must be white. The windows must be white and match the existing as closely as possible. Galecki, 63 Maple, wants to install a new storm door. There's a picture attached. It's similar to others in the neighborhood. Recommend approval. Note attached, the door must be white, not right, white. Konstandaki, 91 Walnut, wants to replace the front door, pictures attached, it's appropriate to the neighborhood. Note attached, the door must be white. Gilsonen, 23 Maple, wants to install a new front storm door and a new front door. Pictures are attached, they're appropriate to the neighborhood. Note attached, the storm door must be white and the front door must be black as the others are in the neighborhood. Okay, Lisa DiCirico, 31 Maple, wants to replace their patio. There was a note from the association that it couldn't be bigger than 267 square feet. Wants to replace shrubs around the patio and put up 2 new privacy fences where existing ones attached. There's a diagram of the new patio, which is gonna be pavers, by the way, and it does not exceed 267 square feet. Both the neighbors have approved of the fence and their appropriate diagrams for the plantings. I recommend approval. Note that appropriate utility markouts must be obtained prior to digging. Okay, Hammond, 24 Rosewood, wants to install privacy fence. I recommend approval. Note attached, as per instruction from local board, the fence must be white vinyl lattice, as others are in the neighborhood. The fence can be 6 feet high, and it can be no more than 12 feet in length, as there are others in the neighborhood. Just for information, they applied for a board-on-board fence, which I spoke to the vice president of the association, and they will not allow the board-on-board fence. It has to be the lattice fence that exists in the neighborhood. On the application, I crossed out the board and refused it, and we'll make sure that Mr. Hammond, who's on their board, knows that it has to be a lattice. Trill, 22 Locust Court, wants to install a new front storm door. There's a picture attached, it's appropriate to the neighborhood. Note attached, the door must be white. Moriani, 22 Cherry, wants to install new patio with pavers, 13 feet wide and 21.5 feet long, which is similar to others existing in the vicinity. Recommend approval. Note appropriate utility markouts must be obtained prior to any digging. And Mary Gaffney, 26 Rosewood, wants to plant some shrubs around her patio. There is a diagram attached. The shrubs are appropriate. I'm gonna recommend approval with a note attached that utility markouts must be obtained prior to any digging. And that is the architectural report for this month.
Thank you, Tony.
I have one question on
We have a question.
Tony, on item number 1, all right, replacing the paver patio with concrete, and then they want to add a brick border around it.
No, it's not around the patio. And their flower beds in the house currently have a wood border, and they want to replace them with a gray brick. You know how they stick them into the ground?
Okay, so this is like a kind of a flat border that is around the brick,
It's
right?
probably 4 inches high.
My question was really oriented to see whether or not there was any height to that brick thing, and I gather that it's not.
No,
Say 4
no.
inches.
And there's pictures attached that show exactly what they want to do, and it's something that exists. You know how you take a brick and stick it into the ground on an angle? That's what they're doing.
Right. That's all.
Is that satisfactory?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll
Motion to
second.
accept the report.
I made a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Trey, well, once you move your camera,
Right.
just wanted to point out that item number 4 talks about boxwoods, and we know that there are blighted plants, so maybe you could tell them about the ones you're using here. Okay, that brings us to Country Club.
Oh, wait, could we
You
just,
want
yeah,
to do Frank?
yeah, do Frank, do Kevin, then we'll swing it back.
Okay, we'll do insurance next. Frank?
Well, good
No,
evening.
I'm sorry. Security, Frank.
Security.
Just testing you, Frank.
At the last board meeting, there was some discussion concerning the installation of low-profile traffic speed bumps in areas of concern in the complex where speeding occurs. The concerns were raised by residents who live on Willow Drive. I reviewed a file concerning the same issue, which was generated in 1997. It appears that the installation of speed bumps was not looked favorably upon by both Spring Lake Heights Fire Department and Spring Lake Heights Police Department, specifically because of issues associated with the response of emergency vehicles in our community. I recently contacted Sergeant Zachary Ramp, our liaison officer, and requested that he put me in touch with someone in the fire department to again discuss the issue of speed bumps as a follow-up. Sergeant Ramp notified me that the Spring Lake Heights 2021 police budget, they were purchasing 2 updated radar speed control signs, and that they would be willing to dedicate one of these signs exclusively to Fairway Mews and rotate the sign during the higher traffic months of the summer. Also, the Fairway Mews Security Committee submitted a request that we purchase a radar control sign of our own, which if approved would be acquired through the Fairway Mews Community Chest. That's my report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now security, no.
Insurance.
Now
it. Now insurance.
Still testing.
Good evening. We're gonna be meeting with our Brown and Brown rep on the 5th of November to discuss what the cost of our insurance will be going forward this year. Unfortunately, I had told you last month, with a low incident, that we might qualify for a low incident discount. That is no longer in play. Reason being is COVID and other insurance issues that have come up around the country, so insurance is just going up. Right now, we speculate that the insurance increase is gonna be between 5 and 10%. We'll get a better handle on it when we speak to Jillian on November 5th, and hopefully we can get it towards the lower end. And that's my report.
Well, thank you, Kevin. All in favor of motion accept Kevin's report?
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that'll bring us to Kathleen and Country Club, once
Okay.
Trey sets up his camera.
Okay. Just set, wait.
Okay, Kathleen.
All right. November brings us Veterans Day to honor and thank all military personnel who have served the United States. And Thanksgiving is just around the corner. It's for family and friends to give thanks. I just sent in an order for over 60 additional bricks. I want to thank everybody for participating in this undertaking. The next thing is I'm trying to figure out how we can have a tree lighting party. I will let everyone know just as soon as possible if we can have something that is considered safe for all. A very special thank you to Ann Tarrant for heading the Fairway Strong Scramble and fundraiser. This wonderful event brought the community together in these trying times. It also provided funds for the community chest. Great job, Ann. And that's my report.
Thank you, Kathleen. You know, if we do the tree lighting, Santa will have to wear a mask.
That's okay, so I'll figure it out.
Motion to accept Kathleen's report.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Kathleen, pool and house.
Okay, we're getting closer to having the parking lot paved and new curbing. The plan is to have it completed by November. And the clubhouse will be open just as soon as it is safe for all. And that's my,
Thank you, Kathleen. Motion to accept Kathleen's pool and house report.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor? That'll bring us to old business, and, Al, I believe that, Vince is going to raise some items that were discussed at the finance committee meeting with regard to roads and so forth, so
Is that old or is that new?
We're gonna do that under new business.
you wanna do it under new business?
I don't know if it's.
Well, I thought it was old because those cracks are still there. Okay, old business. Trey, do you have any old business?
I do not.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. Vince?
We have a list of that.
I'd like to make a proposal that, in this year's budget.
Al, just, let me preface what you're gonna say, all right?
Okay.
At the finance committee meeting this past week, we discussed a number of items, one of which is the road repair for potholes and cracks. And I've asked Al to go over that proposal. We discussed it, and it's a legitimate request, so Al, go ahead.
So the proposal would be is to fill in the cracks and the potholes that we have. We have a quote from an LLC paving here, Asphalt Restoration Enterprises. And the quote is $8,214 for cracks and $7,996 for pothole repair, for a total of $16,211. This was done a number of years ago and proved very, helpful and successful in keeping the roads in good shape. So I would recommend that we do it this year. We discussed it in the finance meeting, and the funds are there. And this would then lead to the other part, which would be for next year on the wish list, is that we would seal coat all the roads. And that would be approximately a $49,000 bill if we could fit it into next year's budget. At that point, Seaview 2 just did their driveways. If you've seen them, it looks great. And if we do that to the roads, we would really be in very good shape for quite a number of years going forward with the roads, with doing that expense. That's up to the budget, that part. But this part, we should do this year.
Okay, I just want to add something. It was about 5 years ago that Trey and I got together and did the cracks over in all throughout the Mews and repaired the potholes. And the whole point was that those cracks, as they open in the winter, ice forms in there and it just destroys the road. So we did prolong for the last 5 years the roads by doing that. And this treatment will extend the life of the roads before we would have to replace them. And your other item, Al, will address in the budget.
Addressed for the budget for this
So a resolution,
Well, it's just I know it's not a resolution in the strict sense, but it's just a formality here that the board approved the expenditure of
Okay.
that. I recommend that we approve it. We discussed it at the finance committee meeting, and everybody at the meeting at that time saw the value of improving the roads, and allowing that expenditure to kind of extend the life of the roads. So
Okay, so then I will ask for a show of hands to agree to do the cracks, the road cracks, this year. Thank you. Let it be noted that everyone raised their hand in favor of it. Okay, so
So-
Vince, you have other items.
Yes, the other item that we discussed at the Finance Committee was about the purchase of furniture, tables and chairs for the new clubhouse, which we're in right now. And Kathleen Walk has presented a proposal at that time, which she'll go over now. But again, we looked at it and viewed it favorably to include it in this year's expenditure rather than next year's, as we have money available this year to cover it. Kathleen?
Okay, I'd like to make a proposal to purchase these drop leaf tables for the clubhouse, 16 in total. There'd be some that would open up to 8 and some would open up to 6. And that would be for a total of $10,440. Also then to purchase 120 chairs for the clubhouse would be $12,215. And then we'd need some additional folding chairs, so that'll be $1,550. So for a grand total of $24,205. But I have 5,000 that I've made on the bricks, so if we take that off and use the brick profit, it'd be a total of $19,205.90.
Okay, and Vince?
Yes, we discussed it at the Finance Committee meeting, and as I said before, we have the funds in the budget this year to accommodate that, and this would be an additional expenditure that we would be making, but because we have the funds, it's a good time to do it. So I recommend approval to everybody.
So again, I'm going to ask you for a show of hands to approve the purchase of furniture for the clubhouse. Thank you.
I would like to add one other thing. Since we're going forward with it, Trey, can we look at the sale, somehow or another,
Right.
for the
Yeah.
chairs and tables that we currently have, if we get anything for it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where we would put it, what form would be the best, but we might be able to get a few dollars each for the chairs and so on, and so that would further,
Maybe
Reduce
the-
eBay.
Yeah,
maybe,
good point,
you know.
Al.
so I
That's
might as well,
possible.
if we're moving forward, we know we're gonna get the new stuff in, then we
Yeah.
might as well start now to
Okay.
see if we can get rid of this stuff.
Do that.
And for those of you who might not know, Mike is sitting on the chair
Yes.
that we're gonna have.
He didn't even know.
It arrived early.
Third.
We have a third proposal here from the Finance Committee.
All right, well, this really doesn't pertain to finance in and of itself, but we discussed the matter and saw fit to bring it forward. And that was that as we have colder weather coming, approaching, there are a number of
Trey?
9 condo board meetings, associations, meet roughly monthly to discuss business associated with their associations. And we'd like to recommend that we be able to use the clubhouse in the same fashion as we use it for this purpose, for this meeting, on a monthly basis, so that each association could conduct their monthly meeting in a place that gives adequate separation and distancing, and limit it just to the board members, so that it would not be a public meeting, but it would be a closed meeting, just as this one is done. And we do that throughout the winter until warm weather allows us to meet outside again, or unless the restrictions are lifted. So I put that out, and Ron, if you have any comments on it, like to address it, but
Sure, there's no problem with you folks allowing that to take place. As long as you meet the, the indoor requirements. Executive Order 173 is still in place where it's limited to 25% capacity of the total building, not the room, building, 25% of the entire building or 25 people. But it's capped at 25 people no matter what. So you'd have to adhere to that. You'd have to adhere to social distancing. A mask would have to be worn. And the room would have to be sanitized, just like you normally would with any other forum. So whatever that extra expense is, it should be minimal as long as,
we also discussed the issue of managing it, because Trey has limited resources in terms of employees. So Trey's suggestion was that we limit it to one association per day. Like, we couldn't have multiple meetings on a particular day because he would have trouble sanitizing the room after each one. And also that the meetings be held during the daytime hours and not at night or on the weekends, which would put a little stress on the workers.
So, I mean, I could put together a little plan that we talked about for that, and get it out to those local associations and,
Right.
move ahead with that, so.
Now, do the local associations communicate with their members as 4O does with an email?
I don't know,
Okay.
I think one was doing a Zoom, another,
Yeah,
I think.
do a Zoom.
You do a
Yeah.
Zoom? I know Moscato was doing a Zoom. I think Donna really emails it out to her association. We put it on the website, the minutes sometimes, so things like that is
Okay.
how they're getting them out
Okay.
there.
Well, it seems like a reasonable proposal, so I can agree with it. Anybody have objection to that
No.
after hearing Ron's assessment?
We just have to come up with a plan, that's all.
Yeah, okay, so Trey you'll do that, correct?
I will.
Yeah,
you should also have a waiver, by the way, if they're gonna be coming into the clubhouse,
all right.
which I can easily draft.
Okay. We do have a couple more things. Vince, would you do page 34, the deferred income resolution?
Right.
Each year, we
Right.
perform one of the things that we do for our annual audit is to pass a resolution to defer surplus to future years. And this is to avoid taxation on those extra revenue. So we defer revenue into the future year, and we record that on our budget as deferred income. So tonight I'd like to read the resolution and that ask for approval of the resolution. Whereas Fairway Mews Community Association, Inc. is a New Jersey corporation duly organized and existing under the laws of the state of New Jersey, and whereas the members desire that the corporation shall act in full accordance with the rulings and regulations of the Internal Revenue Service. Now therefore, the members hereby accept the following resolution by and on behalf of Fairway Mews Community Association, Inc. Resolved that any excess membership income over membership expenses for the year ending December 31st, 2020 shall be applied against the subsequent tax year member assessments as provided by IRS Revenue Ruling 70-604. This resolution, if adopted here, is made part of the minutes of the meeting, and I ask for an approval on that.
Motion to accept the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Vince, do you have any others?
No, that was all that I have.
Okay.
I have one last one.
And I have one.
Okay. Want to just do this real fast?
Go ahead.
It's an easy one. It's the 2021 employee holiday calendar on page 32. deals with human resources. Mr. Corrigan, maybe you can make a motion to put that into acceptance there.
Oh, the holiday calendar.
Sure these are all right.
Was this the
I
board's
triple
holiday
checked
schedule?
This is the payday schedule.
So I'd like to make a motion to accept this.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Over the last couple of months, we've had discussions with various members, presidents of the various associations. And like Vince had said, when we discussed the budget, 5 years ago, we decided that we should share that discussion of the prepared budget for the following year with the presidents. Before that, as far as I know, that was never done. The FMCA board, the finance committee never discussed what the budget was going to be for the following year. Now, we do that as a matter of transparency. We've done that as a matter of courtesy to them, and we've done that so that they, in an advisory manner, could share some of their thoughts about the budget, and they would be better informed to discuss the budget with their associations. So what I would like to propose, though, is perhaps moving a little further along on the line of this, and that is, I would like the FMCA board to establish an ad hoc committee. Now, an ad hoc committee is not a standing committee of the board. It's a committee that the board can form and the board can dissolve at some point in the future. And that committee would be composed of Vince Dahl as chairman of that ad hoc committee, and the members of that committee would be each of the presidents of each of our 9 associations. That committee will be truly advisory. It will not have a decision-making role in the board, but it can bring advisory statements through Vince back to the board here. The committee will meet quarterly, and Vince, as I said, will share with them the results of the quarter, the financial results of the quarter of FMCA, excuse me, and we'll bring back from those meetings matters that are of a concern to the presidents of the associations. This is a means of further transparency for them. It's a means of acknowledging that they have a role, a serious role in the community to manage the balance of Fairway Mews. So I would, we will have that first meeting, as Vince said, when we do the review of the budget. The budget will be reviewed sometime in November, as soon as Kevin can get us the insurance numbers. And we'll give them copies of the budget a couple of days in advance so they can review it. We'll probably meet here with the 9 presidents. Vince and myself usually would be in attendance. Any other member of the finance committee who wants to be in attendance could be here. And that'll be the first meeting of that ad hoc committee. So what I'm asking you tonight is to give your approval to that ad hoc committee. And I would ask a show of hands to say we agree that we will form this ad hoc committee and it will function along the lines that I just said. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, that, is there any other new business? I guess not. We will then go to the open session. Trey, did you get some questions from the community?
I have two. I will read those right now. Again, I took the question that was sent in and I answered it to the best of my ability. If anybody wants to add to that after the fact, we could go that route. So the first one is from Joe Mussolino at 94 Walnut Drive. Can Fairway Mews look into the feasibility of having residents have the option to pay monthly maintenance fees online? My answer to that is Fairway Mews Community Association is not the avenue to explore this possibility. Your own local condominium association, where you make your current monthly payments to on your check, say, would have to weigh if this is something they would entertain. The last time this was investigated, there were transaction and monthly fees associated with this that your local association would have to take on for this service.
Anybody want to add anything to that? I know we did discuss this a couple of years ago in the finance committee, and it did come out the way you're describing it.
Right.
So I think that's the answer, that each association would have to look into it and see if.
It might benefit
feasible
some,
to
it
them.
might not benefit other ones.
Correct.
Right, okay. Then the other one was Anthony Moscato, 21 Linden Drive. When work is being performed at Fairway Mews that could or will have an effect on resident services, why are we not informed? Mr. Moscato is referring to several cable outages that he has experienced as of late at his unit. As far as I know, utility companies will notify residents of planned outages due to work being done. Unfortunately, if it is an unforeseen circumstance, the company has no way of knowing in advance of a disturbance. Take New Jersey Natural Gas Company, for example. They are changing out old gas meters at many units in the community. In several circumstances, the pipe from the meter into the unit has been rusted out. They install the new meter and shut off the gas to the unit on the spot with no warning until the unit owner has a plumber make the proper repair. Then and only then is the gas turned back on. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are beyond.
Well, I think we have to be proactive in this, and if we know that New Jersey Natural Gas is in the community, I think we have to try to do the best we can to, interrogate them about what are they going to do, because you can't simply change somebody's gas meter and then shut the gas off and not return it just because they have a rusted pipe.
Well, they do notify that they're changing out the meter, but when they hook it up, I've seen it happen 2 or 3 times. The pipe that goes into the unit is rusted and it's leaking gas.
Yeah, and that's,
so
that is the unit owner's
right
responsibility.
So they shut the gas off on the spot, no questions asked.
But I would think that if we know they're going to change meters,
Mm-hmm.
there's, because of the age
Right.
of some of the units, there's a high likelihood that the pipes might be rusted.
Mm.
And so I would try to see if we couldn't, beforehand, get some sort of notification that.
I mean, we could send an email out, but individually, they'll send a letter to each unit. They're not going to let us know that they're going to 24 or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it's
then
they notify the unit directly.
Then we should advise the associations that when you get that letter, when they get that letter,
The unit owner, right.
that is a high likelihood that
Right.
they're gonna have to get a plumber to change the
That we could do.
gas pipe.
That we could do.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
It's like stealth. They come and shut your gas off.
I've seen them do it.
Better not do that when I'm baking bread.
Somebody was getting ready to take a shower. Okay, that's all I have there.
Well, in that case, does anyone else have anything this evening?
The only thing I would say is that from my standpoint, with any kind of emergency numbers, I always keep in mind my cell phone. For instance, Jersey Power and Light. And in doing that, it gives you the ability to call them right away if you lose power. I mean,
That's a really
that's
good,
just standard.
that's a good suggestion.
I
Maybe
think,
try
yeah.
to get that out there to the associations too.
Yeah, you can give them the number for that as well as, whatever their cable company or,
Okay. And Kevin, while you are in the discussion mode, would you handle the last chore of this meeting?
At this point, it would be my pleasure to bring this meeting to an adjournment.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, all of our board members. Good meeting.